Shalom, shalom, Akim, and the few Akwak that are out there listening. Now, before I get started, I just want to give all praises. Actually, I want to say this first. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaChodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders, and also the elder bishops of Great Millstone that do teach well and that do rule well and that have taught me this truth. To you, I say shalom and shalom unto the hopeful elect. Yeah, so this was posted in the group chat earlier today, I believe by Elder Yahawasap, and it's a part of the Joe Rogan Experience, his podcast that he has. It's a short clip, and I believe he had a podcast with Annie Jacobson. Now, if you're not familiar with Annie Jacobson, just look her up, but she's an investigative journalist, an American investigative journalist and author. She wrote, I believe she wrote for and also produced, I believe she writes. She wrote a lot of books. Yeah, I remember one book she wrote. It was Operation Paperclip. I believe it was the secret intelligence program to bring Nazi scientists to America. So she wrote a lot of books on a lot of the secret operations that took place in the past, and also she writes about nuclear war, the Pentagon, Area 51, and also I believe she produced television programs like Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. So, hey, she knows what she's talking about. She did the research. But I will say this, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, we've been telling you about the things that she's been talking about already for years, right? Some elders have been talking about this stuff for about 30 plus years before even YouTube existed, right? They did the research themselves. And when they were out in the highways and byways, you looked at them, and you also looked at us, men like myself, like we were quacks, like we were idiots, like we were madmen. We were telling you about this stuff, about thermonuclear destruction, nuclear war, Operation Paperclip, UFOs, UAPs. So we've been saying this, but now an expert, a person with worldly credentials, is now talking about. Now people are taking it seriously. But yes, what she's saying is on point. And Joe Rogan gets scared over the conversation that they had going into thermonuclear destruction and the outcome that it would bring. And it's total annihilation. It's catastrophic, and there's no going back. Nuclear war is the war to end all wars, and that's what she basically says. So I'm gonna play the clip, and then obviously you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into the bread and butter, which is the scriptures, the Bible, the word of Yahweh Bashem Shai. So anyways, here we go.
A ballistic missile launched from a launch pad outside Moscow takes 26 minutes and 40 seconds to get to Washington, D.C. We can't shoot down ballistic missiles, long-range ballistic missiles, with any kind of certainty or accuracy. So there's 3 phases of a ballistic missile. The interceptor system is designed to take out the missile in mid-course phase. We have 44 interceptors. We have 1,700, let's say, nuclear missiles on ready for launch status. Russia has about the same. We have 44 interceptor missiles. How are 44 interceptor missiles going to go up against more than 1,000 Russian nuclear weapons coming at us? Never mind the fact that each interceptor has a 50% shoot down, which is why when nuclear war begins, it only ends in nuclear Armageddon. Jesus. A ballistic...
Yeah, man. So yeah, nuclear Armageddon. And we know Armageddon is in the scriptures when you go into Revelation, the 16th chapter. And I believe it's, I think it's the 16th verse. But we know the battle, well, really what Armageddon is, it's the battle of the great day of the Almighty. And I believe that's going to be in the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. And but really what she's referring to Armageddon, it's really a cataclysmic final conflict. Right, so it's the war to end all wars, basically. and that's thermonuclear destruction. And that's true to a certain degree. It's true, right? What she's saying is true. But this reminds me of Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 3, because this is what I was thinking about, because she was talking about interceptors. They only have about 44 interceptors to intercept those nuclear missiles that will be shot off, 44, and it's only about a 50% chance that it will work, or intercept the missile while it's flying in the air. Right? So she explains it, but it reminds me of Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 3, going into the Brigadine. Right? So it's, hey man, the scriptures are on point. The scriptures don't lie. I'm telling you. The scriptures don't lie. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with Habakkuk 2, verse 3. And the vision is speaking, man. The vision is speaking. And if you're awake, and if you can see it, you can see it. If you can't see it, that's your problem. So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. That's right. So the vision is yet for an appointed time. And who was given the vision? The prophets. The prophets. Jeremiah 28 and 8. You can go into that precept. Tells you what the prophets are going to do. They're going to go out into the highways and byways and prophesy the downfall of kingdoms. They're going to talk about bad times to come. Right? So the vision is given onto the prophets. And who are the prophets? Right? The prophets are going to be on the street corners in your city. And they're going to be wearing rough garments. They're going to be reading out the Bible, lifting up their voice like a trumpet, sparing none. And they're going to kind of look crazy. But rightfully so. You know, a righteous type of crazy. Right? A righteous type of crazy. I'm going to say it like that. Because scripture says, oppression maketh a wise man mad. And a wise man is one that fears Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And the majority of you people out here, you are not wise because you don't fear the Lord. So by default, when you look at us, you're gonna think we're mad. All right? And you guys, you think you're sane. When really it's really the opposite if you get into specifics and you break it down. But anyways, I'm not gonna go into that. But the people who are given the vision are the prophets. And the prophets, they're on the street corners. They're going to be wearing rough garments. They're going to be wearing their fringes. And they're going to be saying the real name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the real true name of God. The one you ignorantly called Jesus and Christ. Okay? They're going to be calling upon the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So anyways, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. That's right, an appointed time. So prophecy has an appointment date. So prophecy is not going to happen when you want it to happen. It's set for a specific time. And we're almost in that time of nuclear destruction. Right? All the pieces are set. You know, on the world stage, all the props and pieces are set for nuclear destruction to pop off at any moment. And we're in that time, and she's talking about it. Annie Jacobson.
A ballistic missile.
See? Annie Jacobson is talking about it. So, hey, prophecy has an appointment date. So it's not going to happen on your time. And we know the Lord's time is far greater than our time. Because Scripture says a day to the Lord is 1,000 years. So 1,000 years to man is very, very long. So some of these prophecies that are written in this book, it's going to take years upon years upon years for that prophecy to come into play. So it says here, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. That's right. It's going to speak and it will not lie, because the Lord is a power that cannot lie. The Lord has nothing but told you the truth. Right? And a lot of people don't want to accept that. Especially our people. Prophesy unto us smooth things. The scripture says that, man. When we tell our people about this, that's too harsh, man. You guys are party poopers. Get a job. That's the first thing they said. But you know, it's funny now. About 10 years ago, you used to hear that a lot. It's Saturday. Why don't you guys get a job? But now these people, they're no longer saying that, get a job. You know why? Because it's hard to get a job now. Because of inflation, because the standard of living is going up. So you people are getting rebuked. You people are getting cut by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All the jobs are being taken away. You idiots, man. You idiots. But that's the Lord, man. You know, you people are gonna get humbled, man. And you people are in for a rude awakening. Anyways, it says, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. That's right. So, hey, once prophecy is fulfilled and it plays out, that's it. There's no going back. And you can't pause it. You can't pause your destruction. You can't halt the prophecies or upset the prophecies. Once it happens, that's it. That's your ass. And this is a prophecy.
A ballistic
missiles, ICBMs, thermonuclear destruction. She's talking about it. The investigative journalist Annie Jacobson. All right. Okay, so anyways, let's go back now. Let's go into Jeremiah 51 verse 3. Going into that brigandine. Because they don't have enough interceptors to intercept these intercontinental ballistic missiles. They don't. And it's only a 50% chance that it will work anyway. So what good is it? So this is Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 3. Against him that bendeth. Actually, you know what? Let me start. You know what? Let's start at the first verse. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. You can find that in Revelation chapter 7, Revelation 8, and also Revelation 9. And that destroying wind is nuclear fire. Verse 2, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine. And, you know, all these nations are going to come against Babylon, which is America. America is Babylon in the spirit. And a lot of these countries that are allied with America are going to turn against them. They're going to turn against the whore that sitteth upon many waters. And they're going to destroy it. And guess what? You know who's also the enemies of America, and that's Russia, Iran, and what else? North Korea. They're going to shoot their missiles, their arrows. Now it says here, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine. And that brigandine is an old English word used for armor, right? Armor. So that armor is going into those interceptors, missile defense systems, or an iron dome, which is what Israel has today. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. There you go. So, hey, your brigandine ain't going to work. All right? It ain't going to really work. You're still going to get destroyed by all the missiles, man. And she's basically telling you, man, we can't stop all of those missiles. What are we going to do? And Joe Rogan's like, whoa. As if he never heard that before. And he came across the prophets too, man. I'm sure he came across the videos. Anyways, so let me get Revelation chapter 9. This is Revelation chapter 9. I think it's verse 6. Or verse... because it goes into 200,000, the horsemen. Yeah, so I'm going to just get to the point, and this is going into the missiles. Now, you could start at verse, I believe you can start at verse 9, Revelation 9 and 9. right? Gives you a description of what the missiles look like. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to get to the point. So this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 15. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. I believe the third part of men, I kind of forgot. I think it's thing that represents Esau and also NATO and the EU. Okay, the ones that are in charge of the beast, you Edomites, starting with you, third part of men, going to destroy your system. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. And these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and that starts with the warhead. When the because that's what really does the damage. It's really the warhead. It's at the tip of the missile. When it hits, when it hits a certain point, I believe in the atmosphere, and then the warhead drops out, and then it hits its designated target. That's talking about the warhead. That's what does the damage. Boom, and it blows up. Right, so yeah, that's talking about thermonuclear destruction, and it said 200,000. So that's thousands upon thousands of missiles, man, and you really can't count that. You can't count 200,000. So you know what that simply means? It's enough. That's enough for America's destruction. And look at the map. When she brings up the display here, right? Because it showed you pictures of all the nukes that are going to be shot off. Man, that's too much to count, man. And there's probably going to be more that's shot off, because that's just Russia alone. What about the other nations? What about what they have in their arsenal? So you really can't count that. Come on, that's a lot of destruction, man. 200 million missiles. You can't even really count that. So just letting you know, man, it's just going to be it's going to be so much missiles that are going to be shot off. And it's going to bring total destruction, man. I'm just talking now. Okay, but yeah, that's what I wanted to bring out. So with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor to unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rekah HaChodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS, and shalom unto the hopeful elect. Kwame Shala, Shalom.